And yeah,
All right, so we're gonna go live in three, two, one.
see if this works. Maybe.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of I guess it's Rolls to Astonish. We haven't streamed in a while, but we're doing it. Uh, so we're playing. Tonight. We are playing JAGS Wonderland with the creator Marco. Say hi, Marco.
Hi.
um, Joining me tonight is, of course, Marco. He's the creator of the game, and he's going to be GMing for us. I'm Steven. I will be playing a character named Sarah Sparrow. Joining me also tonight is Haley.
Hi, I'm playing Jules. I'm the alternative grungy girl that answers problems with her fists most times.
We have Zach.
Hi, I'm playing Russell Jones, the laid back character in this group. Hopefully, hopefully to keep things from. Well, probably more to rile it up more than anything else. Let's be honest.
And last but not least, we have Eric.
Being Vasily, one of apparently many clowns.
Beautiful.
Many clowns.
This is a game that's inspired by the Netflix show Stranger Things. The characters are all kids who are in ninth grade, a little bit older than the Stranger Things kids, but when they started, and takes place in a small town in south Wisconsin where nothing ever happens.
Yep.
Clowns.
Hang on, I might be having the wrong
Beautiful.
link. I don't know.
I got the proper one.
This is a game that's inspired by the Netflix
It's
show
very
Stranger
weird
Things. The
where it
kids
sent
are,
you, but that's the
characters
proper
are all
one.
Kids who are in
Okay.
ninth grade, a little bit older than.
Yep, there it is,
Stranger
Stranger
Things
Wonderland.
But they started, and takes place in a small town in
All right,
south
I'm going
Wisconsin
to resend that around.
where nothing ever
and then
happens.
we will get started. Sound good.
Yep.
Sound good. Sound good. Sound good. Might be having
Time to start from the beginning. Take two, everyone.
proper
Take
one.
two.
It's fine. We can fix
It's
this.
very weird where it sent you, but that's the proper one.
Kids who are in ninth grade, a little bit
Okay.
older than.
Yep.
Okay.
We should redo our intros for all the good people out in YouTube land.
We'll redo the intros. So yeah, I'll do a quick reintroduction. No, actually, it'll be fine. Well, if anyone comes around asking, then I'll say. But this is fine for the playback. Let's see.
Like, what all goes into what happens before we actually tune in? Oh, all this nonsense. They're
Yeah.
just being dorks.
I think
Okay, then.
I think I've got the.
Oh, God, it's YouTube section.
Yeah. Yep.
Beautiful.
So for some reason, it's going to the wrong thing. So I'm trying to fix that. There we go. That should fix it in the stream. There we go. There's the Roll20. All right. So yeah. So I guess we'll go around. We'll introduce all of our characters maybe in play, and then like in proper introductions and looks and all that stuff, and then we'll go from there. It's fine. We're all fine. Everything's fine. I'm sure it's fine. It's good.
Steven, let's be honest.
It's fine.
Since we did start about half an hour ago, without any of the real action taking place, should we give a brief synopsis of sort of where we are in the game?
Yes, please, because I wasn't here for that, so I'd like to see what's going on.
Yeah, you were
No, you can do the
driving.
card.
I was driving. It's very, very long drive, big drive.
Okay.
So
we all got up and went to school.
Well, let me say what the nature of the game is.
Yeah,
right?
that would be great. That would be the
What do we
best.
Okay, so the game is JAGS Wonderland. It's a free generic role playing game, tabletop role playing game, and this game is specifically inspired by Stranger Things, the Netflix show. The characters are all kids in ninth grade, in a school in a small, sleepy little town in southern Michigan, and they are all friends they've been friends for quite a while. They're tight, and they are all members of the computer club, which is kind of the high point of their day when they get to hang out together and look at the World Wide Web as it stood in 1995, which is when the game takes place. All right.
Okay. All right. So.
Okay, so someone give us a description. You can each give a description of your character and what happened in the first 30 minutes or so of play.
All right.
Oh god, who wants to go first?
Draw straws.
We didn't draw straws over the.
Actually, we already did that. So Vassal, you first.
That's
Eric,
right.
you go first.
Okay, so I got up. I'm the son of a Russian immigrant, wealthy Russian immigrant post Glasnost. I got up. My father had left on business, as he often does. I went to his office to steal cigarettes. I did steal cigarettes. I also took a portable black light and a spray that fluoresces in the ultraviolet light that I found while rifling his unusually unlocked desk. And I didn't find the handgun I hypothesize he has. That's probably in his wall safe, if it exists at all. But that would be a major score. And we learned going forward that our beloved computer teacher hired or something let go, potentially dissolving the computer club we're all avid members of. Suggested breaking into his office to satisfy curiosity. And that's, I think, about where I had gotten to. Everybody else had their own.
Right. Okay, Russell. Zach.
Huh? Well, you have Russell, average kid, extremely laid back, caring, stubborn, slight sometimes, will do anything for his friends. His sister, however, does not like his friend, and thus constantly reminds him of the fact that she disapproves of his friend choice.
I can't imagine why.
This time round, she had tried to get him to a job offer, and told him a bit about his teacher retiring, being let go, only to pass Jules on the way, trying to say hi, and his sister being a bitch as usual, driving faster than he can say anything. So he just kind of accepts the fact that this is going to be his first year of high school. Alrighty then.
Okay, and Jules.
Hello there. I am playing Jules. She is your atypical girl. She is completely grunge, fights against the feminine curve. She is basically raised in house that her mother wants her to be, more feminine and just all that kind of such. But really, all Jules is she answers everything with sass, threats, or fists, pretty much. She woke up this morning, argued with her mom over having to wear a dress to go to a wedding for a member of a devotion group that Jules 100% is freaked out of and just absolutely trying to nope out of that before heading off to school, where basically the entire thing with Russell and his sister happened, where she promptly threatened to potentially key the girl's car because she's such a bitch.
All right. Okay. So we're still introducing characters. Sarah.
So
Get your butt to school!
Hurry up!
Well.
So Sarah is a sort of quiet-ish, very bookish type girl. She's got very dark hair, glasses. Usually keeps it up in a bun or a ponytail. Wears sweaters and skirts. Very unlike whatever Haley's character's name is. I forgot already.
Jules.
Very unlike Jules. She's very much an academic. Knows a lot of things. Very know-it-all about things, and always has information on any given subject. She's been studying up on up for a test today and has been like doing a lot of studying and cramming for that to do well. And she's on her way, backpack full of books, and one token book among them that she's been digging deeper into on the occult.
Yes.
You look at a fancy ghost book, Sarah.
Your aunt introduced you
Yes.
to the occult, and you think of yourself as a hardcore skeptic.
Was a hardcore skeptic, but
Okay.
now it's just like okay, I need to understand everything about this because I think her aunt proved like some aspect of the occult was real to her. So now she's like, okay, can't deny this. Let's find out how this fucking works.
Okay.
You think she
So
has
you're-
that strange ghost?
The idea is that the word occult means hidden,
Yeah.
a hidden world, hidden knowledge. In some cases forbidden, in some cases just innately obscure.
And that is all too tantalizing for her.
Yes. And it's on your way to school. You're biking. You usually meet up with some of your friends, but it hasn't worked this morning. Your schedules haven't aligned, and so you're heading down the road towards the Constantine High School, which is a big, somewhat intimidating building. That this is your first year here, and it's on the way that something catches your mind. It's a small, brightly colored bird holding a little black fish in its mouth. As you coast by it, it passes you on the left, looking at you. There's nothing especially noteworthy about it, or at least you don't think there are. But you can make an occult roll.
Okay.
Something is tickling your brain.
So
So that's 4d6 minus 4, unless you can roll a 0 to 5.
wasn't there a thing of like, because like it shows us all the dice rolls, so we can have these sixes count as zeros.
Sure. Yeah, you can do that. 6s and zeros. Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. There we go. So 2, 2, 1, 4. So total 9.
And what is your occult skill? What's your
My occult skill. Yeah, let me pull up my character sheet real quick.
Sure.
I should probably do that.
That would help.
That would probably help.
Just a wee bit.
Just a wee bit. Let's hope it's on this computer because I've been bouncing back and forth between computers lately a lot. Sarah Sparrow. There she is. Pretty sure this is the correct one. Yes. Verily. Oh no, not in this window though, please. No.
I have questions.
You're fumbling.
Don't worry about it. Alright, let's see. Okay, so my occult roll, it says over here. Where is it? There. Occult knowledge. Roll is a 12.
12 level 2, which
12
means
level 2.
which means you're quite well versed in the occult.
Very well versed.
Yeah, very well versed. For this game, exceptionally well versed.
Yes.
You are actually inside of the school when your brain connects what you saw to what you'd read about omens.
Ooh. Can I pull out my book, open to the section on opens, and try to find specifically what that is?
You're on a bike.
Well, you can stop quickly, and yes, you
I
have.
thought you said it was at the school that I made the connection, but if not,
Yeah, no, well, you are in front of the school, so
okay, then
you're,
yeah.
Oh,
I'm gonna dig in my backpack while I'm riding my bike at the same
No,
time
no.
and read it.
hang on, I have
a kingfisher appearing on the left is an omen that means that your life, your happiness, will be damaged by scandal.
Oh dear.
just
You
everyone looking over.
Imagine what the
Bonk.
well, what's that?
I'm just imagining everyone else just kind of looking over her shoulder, and she's just too lost in the world.
Yeah.
Well, you have to go to catch up with the rest of the gang, and it's the team, the gang, are in some cases, you guys are a bit of a misfit. Specifically, Jules has a bad reputation and a bad reputation, but also you guys are not anywhere near the top of the food chain in terms of social life. But in your case, in your case, you are considered. You're extremely bright. You're potentially a valedictorian.
Why are you here with us?
What's that?
Why is she with us?
Yeah, because
Well-
I'm already sitting here. It's just like, yeah, we're all bands. Jules' anthem is literally, I don't care.
Well, you recognize you guys know Sarah as extremely bright, but also kind of intensely curious, focused on knowing things. Being focused on being a know-it-all is kind of annoying, but also this intense, almost ritualistic focus that she has on knowing things is it puts her in the club. She's very smart about computers. She's and you guys have known each other since you were littler. So
I know a bit about hacking. I know a lot about the occult. I know some stuff about. So I know some hacking. I know some stuff about the occult. Where did all my skills go? I thought I had a bunch more written in here.
Who knows? It all disappeared.
You guys are going in. You're going in to catch up with the rest of the gang, and there is a bunch of students standing in a circle.
Oh,
it's a prayer circle.
I think this is the pre. Okay, I think I know what happened. Go on. I think this is an old version of the sheet that wasn't the final version. So I think so.
And actually, one of the members of the prayer circle breaks off. Her name is Taylor Wisdom. She's she's one of the two youth leaders of the Devotion Church. The Devotion is a pretty hardcore religious church. They have a building out in the scrublands that can properly be referred to as a compound. They don't all live there, but a lot of them do. And although in school they're buttoned down and all very rigorous students and things like that, Taylor has expressed an interest in you, and one that feels kind of predatory, not a intimate.
Not like that.
Not like that, Steven.
Interested in converting you.
Oh no.
But anyway,
it's even worse.
she breaks off from the circle. Oh, there would be no other kind of interest for the youth leader. It's all about the conversions. You wonder if she gets metrics on it that they review with her over dinner. But she comes over to you and she says, "Hey, I'm so sorry to hear about your friend." And you don't know what she's talking about for a moment, but then she clarifies, her expression dripping with sympathy, and she says, "Mr. Harris just wasn't the kind of person who should be around children, and I'm sorry they had to let him go. I know that that was something that you really liked, but if you want to talk to somebody about it, the circle will, we have after school meets." She's walking with you as you push through the doors into the overly cold hallways. And she says, "So, we would certainly welcome you." Yeah, and you, Mr. Harris is the head of the computer club, and the person who teaches the computer labs at the school, and he's somebody who you've actually quite liked. He's one of the better teachers, someone who actually seems to get the students. He's been one of the serious bright points, and you're hearing for the first time that apparently something has happened to him.
Sarah's eyes just started like sort of like are like scrutinize this girl for a bit while she processes what she's saying, and then her eyes go wide a bit, and she just shoves past her to meet up with the rest of her friends.
Okay. She watches you go, and she says, "It's after school in the cafeteria."
I just imagine just like, move, bitch! I need to talk to my actual friends about this shit.
Did you guys
Nobody
know?
knows. Nobody knows much else. You guys, but apparently the word has spread that Mr. Harris, said to be sick, is not coming back to school. And it is not until lunchtime that you get a little bit more information.
Okay.
You guys eat lunch? What's that?
What?
Okay, let's figure out what the fuck's going on then.
Well, it's also not. I mean, this isn't a catastrophic disaster. You really like the guy, but and the club was really handy. It keeps your group together. Making the transition from middle school to high school, you were told that you'd have all different friends and that you'd all just drift away from each other, and that hasn't happened.
Bullshit! Bull fucking shit! Sit down, Mom!
And you heard it from everybody, but and he's one of the reasons that didn't happen. But anyway, like I said, it's at you guys are at lunch when Ryan Hardwick, who's one of the cyberpunks. By the way, Steve. Yeah, go to the Google link that I gave you guys. Here, I'll put it in the chat again.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And you
Literally
go.
scroll up 3 seconds. It does not take.
Where?
So anyway, if you down at the bottom, it's there.
I'm not seeing it.
So anyway, down at the bottom is a list of names.
Oh, you mean in the docs? Yeah.
Yes, in the doc.
Okay.
Mhm.
Dramatis personae. There we go.
Yep.
Yes.
So so if you go look down there, you can see in the upper right hand corner of the cyberpunks. They are older than you guys. They're like seniors. Alice is a junior. They're tough. They're apparently they present themselves as very elite hackers to the point where people are kind of afraid of them because they don't know what all they could do, and they definitely think that the computer club is a joke. They think that Mr. Harris is a poser, and you guys have kept your heads down away from them because they it's a bit early to make the call, but they kind of dress like they're in the Matrix. So
when did that movie come out?
99.
99.
Ah, it's too early.
It's too early.
The Matrix copied from them, apparently. So
apparently they were ahead of the time.
yeah, well, they're dressed like what people thought a hacker looked like. But yeah, they have, and Ryan has this.
Marco, I think you've been linking the stuff in the Random Worlds server, not our chat.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm looking at a Kingfisher and Strange Things doc in the Random Worlds chat.
Oh. Here comes trouble.
Whoops. Don't worry about it. I'm sure it's fine.
Okay.
Okay,
I thought I
so
was
So looks over.
weird.
Here comes trouble. Russell looks over and then looks back at me.
So anyway, well, he has this look on his face that you recognize as recreational cruelty.
Oh boy, here we go. I had to knock some teeth down some throats.
He puts his
Don't.
pale, lean hands on the back of one of the unoccupied chairs, kind of leaning over. And he says, "I heard they broke up your little club."
I heard the hairstyle went out of phase 20 years ago. guys mac and cheese.
He says, I think it's coming back into style, but I don't really give a shit.
Well, I think you're
anyway.
pretty boring. So Russell messes with his wavy blonde hair.
He kind of looks at you and he says, you're the skate rat, right?
Oh, hell yeah. And I can still break my board over your head. Go away.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, I think it's, I just wanted to say that I'm a little sorry about what happened to the guy, although I guess he kind of had it coming, right?
The hell does that mean?
And so you didn't hear?
Well, I've been hearing everything from all around, but everybody has a different interpretation of rumors. And I don't exactly get involved in gossip. I gotta talk with my fists.
Well, if you were a real hacker, you could learn the truth. But
You're pretty boring, friendo.
Well, look, man, why don't you piss off before I just completely brick your computer with doom wobs?
Guys, listen, we should show a little empathy here. Ryan may have been one of the victims.
What do you mean, victim?
Victims?
his eyes.
Did he touch you in a bad place, Ryan?
His eyes
Okay,
go
Vass!
slightly
Russell
wide.
laughs.
She, Sarah just sort of leans over and is just like, did he touch your porn folder?
We're here to
Ryan?"
listen to all your grievances, Ryan. Go on, take a seat. Russell musters over to the. Go ahead, sit down. We'll listen to your whole talk, and then we'll go to the principal. Just do it.
Did he find your folder of sexy Atari pixel art?
I don't know. The funny thing is, Jules would probably be close to dying herself.
Let he who is without a folder of sexy Atari pixel art cast the first stone.
I got questions, but I'll ask him later. As for you, Slickback, the hell are you talking about?
Like, Sarah's just like, I don't have any sexy Atari pixel art, as she just sort of like slowly like minimizes it, like puts away her folder of Doom Guy art.
So Ryan, fucking Vladimir over there, he seems to know what happened.
Well, there are rumors. Have you?
There are rumors. And
Davey gets up and comes over. Davey is the other guy, the other cyberpunk.
Oh god, here comes double.
Alice
Tweedledum.
filing her
Tweedledee.
nails, watching you guys. He says, "Listen." He says, "None of us like that son of a bitch, and if they fired him for being a faggot, hey, I don't care about that."
Man, Tweedledum and Tweedledeer, guys. This is great.
He says, "Yeah, you're wanting to talk. Listen, guys. We know that he was perpetrating that. You guys were computer geniuses. Did you know that? He told some of the faculty that you guys were very advanced. That you had a lot of knowledge about systems and topographies and things like that.
Yeah,
all that bullshit."
Yeah. So what, Mophead? Get to your point, Mophead.
So what you're saying is you're jealous.
Do you need a shave?
That you're not?
I know a little about topography.
No, I'm saying that guy was talking you up, and we all know that you guys are just a bunch of computer kids who could maybe install games or something, but that's about it. Fix your grandma's computer.
Sarah's like, I got Doom running on my calculator. Let's see what you can do.
He says, yeah, let's do that. Tell you what.
Hmm.
He says, there's a weekend coming up. Starting now. Till Monday. He says, we're going to break into a system here in town.
Okay.
And you guys manage to do it first. We'll shut the fuck up. We managed to do it first. You guys gotta publicly admit that you don't know what you're doing. I hate to take advantage of little kids like you. He says,
Or I can scream the R word right now and get the principal on your ass. Try me.
No, we're not rats. We're not going to go to the principal.
Hmm.
So I was going to go to the principal because he's being a bitch.
Hurt your pride, Ryan, that the computer teacher wasn't very impressed with you?
Yeah.
And he says the computer teacher was a joke too.
Huh.
Harris was an asshole and apparently a bag.
Well, apparently you guys dress funny, and your hairstyles are out of style. So fuck
He
off.
says, "Well, yeah, you could talk about my hair all you want, kid. Are you willing to take
You're
the
just
bet?
jealous of
You want to shut me
mine.
up?"
Yes, we're willing to take your bet.
He says,
We don't have nothing to prove. Only you do.
he
You guys
says,
want to slap your dick down on our table? Go ahead.
He says,
By
well,
all
if you're
means.
afraid to do it because you know that you've never gotten into a system, and that all you could do is, take everything you have to open a computer case.
You guys,
Then fine.
you're calling us kids. You guys are the kids.
Mm.
There's a certain degree of self-interest in beating them publicly. I think we should accept the challenge.
Yeah, Sarah's like, just sort of pushes her glasses up. It's like, fine. And when we beat you, not only are you going to shut the fuck up, but you're going to stop acting like you're the hot shit around here, and publicly admit to everyone that we kicked your asses.
And do me a favor. Shred your jackets. They're terrible.
Fine. You're on.
What's wrong with jackets?
Those jackets are bad. Look at them.
You're on. He says Ox Industries. They've got a new website. I'm sure it's full of holes. If you know what you're doing, let's see if you can exploit them.
Alright then, and here's something additional. This is just something I'm tossing down here. Personally. If we do beat you, on top of everything else that we've agreed upon, I want one additional thing. It's something that only your girl there can apply.
Alice was still sitting down, looks up where she's got a particularly sharp-looking nail file against her nails. she looks at you, and it's
If what I've heard
there's
about
no bluster in it, but it's a scary look.
Jules is unfazed. If what I've heard correctly about you, there's a certain skill that you know of that you could potentially teach me to improve my odds of certain activity.
You want to learn how to give a blowjob, honey?
No, the other thing, the thing that you probably do with your boyfriend's dick to a door. Or that nail file, whichever you prefer to use, whichever's smaller and more capable.
She looks at it, and she says, "You want to learn how to pick?"
Yes. If we beat you, I want you to give me a lesson.
She looks over at Ryan and she says, "You better be good for this." Ryan says, "Fine."
Alright, that's a deal then.
Let's go.
Twy
Alright.
Tweedledee, Twy Tweedledum.
they give you guys a look back. Especially Ryan gives a long look at Val.
You see Russell smirk.
Just to make a point. When they laugh, there's more of us than there are of them, however.
Mm-hmm.
Mathematically, if we rumble, the odds don't look good in our favor, just to say.
Well, why say that?
Well,
Because they're
I'm
much
just saying,
older, they have better stats.
they're more small. Not much, just a little.
You guys have classes. And you imagine Ryan, plugged into a network somewhere on his MacBook, viciously hacking at whatever this new website is. Ox Engineered Products. You can actually see it on the map if you go to the website on page 3.
Have we ever heard of them? I mean,
You have heard of them. They have big compound. They're one of the biggest industries in Constantine. You remember they did like engineered paper products or some big shipping concern, but you recently heard that they started getting into high tech, hiring engineers, hiring some computer guys. They had a lot of construction out there, but they have a really big a compound, but it's not like the Devotions compound. It's a big complex of interconnected warehouse buildings and uh, you know uh, some large corporate, looks like a factory of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean you've been out there.
Hacking them would be, that would be something to brag about. Do they have a website?
Yes, it is.
They do.
Mm. All right,
Apparently.
you're up.
We heard they got a new one. Do we know I guess when we're in the computer club lab
Yeah,
later?
you guys have to wait until after school, and you get into the room. You guys are actually on the map that I've shown. Not that you have to position yourself, but you guys are get in there, and it's really the first chance that you have to get to a computer.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, this is not the age of laptops, except, like I said, for the Mac PowerBook that Ryan has, which is something pretty
Expensive.
Yeah.
I'm going to try Harris's office door.
Well, you come to the door, you try to open it, and you discover that there's somebody in there.
Who's in there?
Excuse me? Who's in? Who is
The
it?
person who comes out of there, opening the door, is Miss Preston. She's young,
Fuck.
buttoned down, and she says, "Hello, Vasily."
Oh, Miss Preston.
You can see the supercomputer. Apparently, before he left, before something happened to him, Mr. Harris had gotten his hands on a state-of-the-art computer with all the extras from Dell. Apparently, he won some kind of contest. It's black. It is what? It's got a 21-inch monitor. It is apparently a flat screen, not the kind of flat screens that you have today, where the screen is actually flat, but where instead of being a curved CRT, it has a flat CRT inside it. It's got a zip drive that can hold 100 megabytes on its blue disk.
Damn.
Yeah.
Pretty
State-of-the-art built-in modem, stuff like that. So, but she moved it from outside, where you could actually use it, to inside the office, where it is now taken away from you guys. And she is saying, we're going to be handling this class quite a bit differently than Mr. Harris did. I've already got a bunch of plans made up that will teach you how to use computers in the real world, in the corporate world. So, for example, all of you need to improve your typing speed and accuracy. That's a very important part of computer usage.
You see Russell
Jules just kind of glances
look down at
towards
his hands.
Russell, just to be going to be like, hell no.
Russell just looks down at his hands, like, I can only type so fast.
But anyway, she makes her speech. She also wants to keep the new computer in her office because she's afraid that she says, that's a very powerful machine, and I want to make sure that I'm familiar with it before we let everybody else go in and approach it.
Again, Jules glances over at Russell with the kind of mouth, fat chance.
So the door is open to the office. She's in there doing something, grading papers or something like that. You guys have a chance to go to one of the internet-enabled computers and actually access the information superhighway if you want to.
Is it feasible that the computer was out and we could have used it before?
Yes.
Sarah.
That I had project files on it, and asked if at some point I could copy them
She agrees. Okay. Yes.
Oh.
She'll let you get your files open.
Oh.
Not right now. You know, I can see that you're busy, Miss Preston, but perhaps later. It's, yeah. Yeah. I want to something that will disable the network adapter. I'll do that. You know.
You want to write? You want to write something that will disable the network adapter?
Yeah, just a batch file that will, you know, when it gets run, will run in the background, and knock the computer off the.
Offline.
Okay.
Ooh.
Like disabling, because like the only internet that we have right now is Ethernet based. Or actually, not even
Right.
Ethernet based. It would be phone line based.
Well, internet would
Quick,
be
someone
loaded.
make a phone call.
Literally, is
Internet
I
would be
have to make a
loaded, but
call.
the office have a LAN or a token ring.
Yeah.
You know, if it's off of that, it's nearly crippled. So if she wants a computer in her office, she'll have to move the monolith out.
Yeah. So Sarah's like just thinking about honestly just thinking about the what's it called? What's it called? Is basically Sarah's just thinking about this whole hacking contest. So she's going over to one of the computers and is logging on to just start writing some code.
Let's look at their website and see if there's anything obviously flawed on it.
Yeah.
You go and you.
She's like Vasily, I've got a plan here on how to beat these jokers.
I just put the website link into the chat.
Oh.
Oh god, here we go.
I'm guessing.
Oh lord, this
Russell
is
looks
age.
over
This feels
This
age.
is a whole thing. This is
a
great. I love it.
Oh my god. Oh, it's so aged. The header doesn't roll or anything. Oh,
The site looks best with Netscape Navigator.
oh
Super
lord.
advanced eye protection. Smart glasses screen harmful rays and beauties.
Wow, this is
Beauty
This is
comes
something.
in.
Oh god, the fucking fedoras. Oh my fucking god.
this is something.
Oh boy, this is amazing.
Oh god, what
I
is
love
this?
it. I love it.
You guys. The first thing that you think is that you don't know a whole lot about corporate
What
web.
is this picture of the chief
But-
execution officers?
Something
Exactly.
seems very, very
What the hell
wrong
is that?
to you about this.
What is it?
Well, I mean, you can decide. You know,
Aside from
Nothing is here.
everything.
everything seems wrong about it,
This
but
is a
you know.
terrible website.
This is a very, very weird state of the art medical paper crafts. Look at that minting they're doing. What the fuck is this?
Microscale solutions, autonomous engineering. Turn the volume on the self-replicating blocks.
In the
Oh,
news,
dear.
emergency room patient gets artificial heart from local engineering business.
Oh.
From Humane
Yeah.
Look at
Resources,
that.
it has come to our attention that some of you have been writing your password down.
Whoa, that's stupid.
Don't think that was cleared
Employees using the
for.
remote access web portal must never record, scroll, scribble, transcribe, reproduce, tell, author, put in writing, or commit their private access code. It may only be stored in your brain. If it has escaped your brain and you have forgotten it, you must call Human Resources at the redacted private number Listen the employee handbook and request a password reset. You will be tested on memory. Continued capture of your private access code so the administration will know if you have forgotten it. Credentialed remote login within 48 hours of forgetting is grounds for extermination. For extermination. Excuse me, what?
Well, they do have their chief execution officers.
Oh,
men in hat. Under who is.
Chief execution.
Oh dear.
Their sleepless discipline makes all our engagements a definitional excess. And just them. What? Oh dear.
Well, I found the secure remote access little icon. It just opens to, what the fuck am I looking at?
Russell doesn't understand what the fuck he's staring at either.
Access.
He's just like, what the hell is this?
That's an ear. No, that's not an ear. That's a 3.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. It looks like a freaking.
That's 3. That's 3.
It looks like a rounded Triskelion.
That's 3 interconnected rings created out of ASCII.
Yes.
It's a yeah.
It's a rounded Triskelion.
It's a pretzel.
Because it's just a continuous line.
I agree, it's a pretzel.
It's a pretzel.
Had none of you ever seen a Triskelion before?
But it's not.
We've already established.
I'd say a rounded Triskelion, or not Triskelion. It's a. Oh god, I can't remember what the fuck it is.
Mobius strip.
Not Mobius strip. It's a.
Except it's a Mobius strips are folded in on itself. Anyway, so what we have to do is basically we need to get a hold of one of those logins because we.
Celtic knots. A fucking Celtic.
Oh. Wait, what? Did you guys click on the arrow at the bottom of the thing and it all turns white? Oh. Oh.
Yeah, that's just because you scrolled all the way down to the bottom.
There's nothing here. There is nothing here.
It just turns white.
Yeah, but if
there's nothing here.
Highlight.
There is nothing here.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
some odd runes on the far right.
Huh.
Wait, what?
All right,
Here?
there are some odd runes.
Oh yeah, there's a Facebook,
Oh.
there's Twitter, and
That's
there's Instagram.
cute.
That's great. I love it.
That's cute.
I love it.
That's too
What
cute.
is this,
These things that didn't exist.
Products.
What are
That's
those?
your
Russell
hashtag
points to
mood
the...
today.
What the hell
Weekend is out
was-
there.
Okay,
Can I get a quick logo design? I guess you're paying with free exposure.
I guess, let's focus here. Okay, so we gotta hack this. This should be simple.
I got a plan.
Okay, what's your plan there, Sparrow?
Alright,
I just imagine Jules calls her Sparrow, doesn't even refer to her by her first name, just Sparrow.
alright, Vasily, can you potentially get in there and spoof, the HR email address?
A great idea.
Can you spoof the remote? If you can spoof the HR email address, I'm gonna try to code up a basic. I'm gonna try to code up a basic worm virus, and see if we can use that to get access and try to mine one password for the secure remote access.
They don't seem to have an email address. They do have a
phone number.
Do we know anyone who works there who might have an employee handbook?
That's a great question. You don't happen to know anybody who works there? No, you don't. You know that there are people who work there. Go ahead and make hacker rolls.
People work there. Is that what I'm understanding?
What's that?
We're confident that people work there.
Yes, people.
Because there's no evidence that people actually made this website, but go on.
That's fair.
Yes, like I said, you know, even to your characters, this seems pretty wrong. Go ahead and make hacker rolls.
Hacker rolls? Okay,
Yeah.
so...
Wait. So if they're hacking, can I start coding up like a worm virus?
You can, yes. So what do you want this worm virus to do?
I basically wanted to just like give us a way of mining, potentially mining out a password from somewhere in the database, and then just basically sending back.
Okay, that's going to be that's a quite difficult worm to write. But so there's a couple of things that you can do if you want to make it. One of the things that you can do is if you can load a disk onto someone, you can keylog them.
Okay, yeah, that would be a. Actually, could I make a keylog virus that we could then send through a spoofed HR email?
You can. That's pretty hard. I mean, there's a few things. First off, they'd have to download and run the application. What level is your computer programming?
It's just level 1.
Yeah, that there's a number of things for that. You would basically, to make a keylogging email virus that that works the way that you would want it to work. I would say you'll need, and this wouldn't get past modern antivirus, but you need like 12 success points on 3 rolls, which is not likely to happen.
Right.
You part of the hacking here. So first off, you guys are going to have, this is not necessarily a trivial thing to hack. Depending on how well defended it is. Right. But go ahead and make hacker rolls. You can start working.
Okay, so how does that work?
This is okay. So you roll 4 dice, treating 6s as zeros, and you compare it to your hacker skill. This is not a hacking drama yet. You don't want.
I don't have a hacking skill.
Okay.
I do.
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah.
So Russell just kind of stands there like.
46 6s count as zeros, right?
6s count as zeros.
So, 12.
Same, 12, I think.
I guess I'll try.
Vasily got a 5.
Yeah, 12.
Oh. Vasily did stellar.
Should I even try? I don't even have the skill.
You don't have the skill.
No, then no. Yeah, I mean, you can, no, you don't have the skill, so your character doesn't know too much about compromising. So
Russell's just here. My friends are here. I'm gonna be here.
Russell's gonna be our feet on the ground when we eventually try to break in there and find someone's written down password.
Right. Okay. So, you guys know, in February of this year, a guy named Kevin Mitnick was captured. He was a famous hacker. He was captured after several years of manhunt. Was considered one of the most dangerous people to be let near a computer in the world. He did most of his work through social engineering and dumpster diving.
Yeah.
And what in the movie War Games, which your characters have all seen, if you haven't, and if you haven't, you should.
I am familiar with it. I've never seen it, but I'm familiar.
Well, in the movie War Games, the main character David Lightman wants to break into a protected system, and he brings it to his real grown-up hacker friends. And the hacker friend tells him, "You're never going to get in past frontline security. You got to look for a back door."
Right.
And he asks what a back door is, and he's told that it's something that the original engineer, the programmer, built into the system to allow them to get in. And so what he does in War Games is he researches the creator of the system, not realizing that it's a military intelligence AI, and finds out that in fact the guy did have a daughter who died in a crash, and that her name and is used as a private password. So there's 2 kinds of hacking, movie hacking. One of them is knowing about an exploit in the web server or the OS, which is what you guys at level 1 hacking do not. You guys do not have access to 0-day exploits. You could go and ask the hacker community for exploits. but that is a much more technical version of hacking, is to discover or know about recent exploits that you can use. The second way to do a lot of hacking is getting your hands on an employee handbook, or sneaking in and loading. That's where programming comes in. At one point in my real life history, I and the other person on this call wanted to hack somebody's computer, and so I gave it. We all worked in the same building, but he always locked his computer up. So I called him and told him I needed the help of his enormous intellect right away. And because I had sufficiently needed his enormous intellect, he got up and ran from the computer without locking it, leaving their time to load a piece of software onto his system. So, that kind of hacking is where you would want to use computer programming to break in.
Right.
So, you guys are huddled around the computer looking at this web page, this remote access with computer skill. Go ahead and make a computer roll.
Computer roll? Okay, that's a bit better for me.
If you have computer, yeah, go ahead and make a roll.
I have that.
I will open another tab. Wait! No, I will open another instance of Navigator.
Roll then.
All right, I got 10 this time on my computer roll.
Russell is not good at computers.
Okay,
he was
so
never good at computers.
what you saw on that web page is a VT100. It's a mainframe login.
Interesting.
So yeah, and according to their website, they've been leaving passwords out. So if we can just
somebody been stupid.
So we could probably, what if we just went there, click either maybe looking for a tour, so it was a field trip or an internship, or we were doing research on their company.
Yeah, because they're going to let a bunch of high school kids in Sparrow.
There's all manner of excuses we can use to say that we're here for some reason.
Oh. So let me ask you this: that Jules says is that she drapes an arm around her. How many of those are actually believable?
Plenty. If you got a clipboard and a lab coat, anyone will believe you.
What about your our age?
Not if you're 14, but
Marco.
Yeah, I was about to say, not if you're our age. No, hell.
I bet you could flatter Miss Preston into taking us over there if we told her how brilliant her learn how to type plan is.
Oh yeah.
Do you want me to gag?
They told us how to hack their system. If somebody with an employee handbook can ask for a password reset over their redacted line, what we should do, and I'm going to do any of the local papers have online archives?
I say that there is a 8 or less chance.
Did I roll?
I rolled. And I roll a 6. Yes. The local paper has a
So I am going to I'm sure that there must be pieces in the paper about, I'm going to first off look for anything about Ox, but what I'm looking for are people in town, such and such, who works there, such and such local director. Any, I'm going to bring up, the last couple of years of this and see if we can identify somebody who works there who might be the sort of person who would have an employee handbook.
Okay. Go ahead. You're looking through that. That will take a little bit of time. Does somebody else want to do anything?
I guess I'm gonna run with the idea of flattering Miss Preston, and
okay.
I will use my diplomat skills to
excellent
run some.
Okay.
You go do that.
Run some social flattering and exploitation.
Hmm.
Well, one thing is totally clear is that when it comes to computers, whatever Ox Engineered Products is doing, they've got it going on. Okay, you're looking. Okay, so Eric, go ahead and make. You don't have research skill, and that's okay. You don't need it to look through this. But I do want you to make a. You'll get information either way. But go ahead and make a reason roll. If you make it or make it by a lot, you'll get additional information.
I'm going to use 4d6 minus 4 just so I don't have to.
To read the numbers.
Oh, you know. So I should have just gone with 4d6, treating sixes as zeros. But I did get a 10. That makes my reason by 2.
Okay. Yeah, you're paging through these really bad scans of newspapers. Apparently, they digitized their microfiche file, and
Taking notes of things like names and anything else. And also, generally scanning for anything that looks strange.
well, so when it comes to Ox Engineered Products, there are some things that look strange. The first thing is that they stopped selling paper products, then they were sued by a bunch of their people they had vendor contracts with. About 8 months ago.
Trouble.
And the other thing is that they started hiring. Apparently, they started hiring a bunch of engineers and electrical and computer engineering guys recently. And there's an article about how they are applying for a state of Michigan tax write-off for bringing in high-tech employees. And they are also, also that they started, building a set of dormitories nearby on the plant, and apparently those are left unfinished. You do not find any person who is clearly a member of Ox. Actually, no. You made your roll. You do. You find somebody who is a member of Ox.
Okay. Well, is it like a PR or an HR person or somebody who would be talking to?
No, it's not. They didn't. They don't seem to do. They haven't given any. There's zero public stuff other than you do find reference to the Hart story, which apparently happened. So yeah, there's whatever the name of that person was. Some kind of weird name. Sounds maybe Latin American. But yeah, there is a note of a Mr. Anderson Kilter, Kilter, who is noted as being an employee of Ox. He is a engineer who lived in town before they started hiring engineers. He did some kind of fluid mechanics engineer who they hired. And it's a note about them hiring that they had already tapped out the local talent, and there was a series of complaints from local talent that was not tapped. So apparently, what they said was the locals didn't pass the interviews, but Mr. Kilter, did, and apparently had claimed to have a background from MIT.
Interesting. Oh, I will. Does this Namai round name in our white pages?
No.
look up. I'm going to like do a bit of. Can I make a reason roll to see if I know something off the top of my head?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna make a reason roll. So I got a 9 against my 12.
Okay. Yes, that's successful.
I want to know if I know what left-handed symmetry is.
Yes, you do. Okay. Do you want me to?
Left-handed symmetry? What the
Do you want me to? Okay. So left-handed symmetry. Apparently, this is real. The our universe has a preference for what they call right-handed symmetry, meaning that, for example, if molecules combine and they can behave differently if they are in a left-handed or right-handed configuration. And even though it's exactly the same chemical composition, that was what happened with thalidomide poisoning. Was that the molecules used in left-handed thalidomide were dangerous, but the majority of the time, the chemical reaction creates a right-handed molecule for no reason. Left-handed symmetry and the molecules that have a left and right are called chiral molecules.
Oh.
Left-handed symmetry would be something that is unusual in nature. For example, left-handed sugars, your body wouldn't metabolize them. If somebody could find a way to synthesize sugar that was 100% left-handed, it would still taste like sugar, but your body wouldn't metabolize it.
That's kind of scary.
Yes, you can look it up, you can Google it, but they're talking about a fairly obscure, scientific axiom there. So you're going in to talk to Miss Preston.
Yes.
Miss Preston looks up. She looks, I don't know, kind of pleased to see you. Hello.
So she's like,
Holy shit, this is really in depth.
Like, hello, Miss Preston. I wanted to say thank you for taking over for the club. I'm sure with your great knowledge and organization of this curriculum that we'll be able to learn so much from your teaching.
In the background, Jules is overhearing all this and she's just silently gagging, just like, please end me.
Russell just stares off
she
blankly.
is thrilled to hear this. Go ahead and make a diplomacy roll.
Russell's off in the background with Jules, just kind of looking blankly at the computer. What the fuck am I doing? He whispers to himself.
That's a 13.
Keeping me from jumping on Sparrow with this nonsense.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's a 13 against my 12.
Okay. So you have to actually play this out. So.
Oh damn it.
So no, I mean, so.
Let's go, Steven.
It doesn't amplify your attempts, but the strategy itself is not actually a bad one. She says, "I'm very glad to hear that because Mr. Harris felt that it would be that the club would be rather resistant to myself leading it, and I can tell that some of your friends are not as happy."
I'm sure they'll come around because they'll see just how great your method is with teaching us this material. It's the step-by-step approach is great and incremental in teaching exactly what we need to know as we go, and I'm sure everything will be very practical.
Thank you. Yes.
Now, I wanted to ask you though, in the interest of practical applications of your teachings, maybe we could go on do you think maybe we could go for a visit to a real life location that uses these sorts of things like I don't know, ox engineering?
She frowns slightly. She's heard of it. She certainly knows it, and she says, "Are they doing computer things?"
Oh yes, they're some of the most advanced computer people in the world. They will be like they are on the cutting edge. I'm sure they can teach us all sorts of things.
And she says, "Well, okay. I guess we could have a field trip. There's forms for them.
You should go right now."
Okay. Let me see if we do we have a number to call over there?
Can I look up it to see if there's?
You can look up in the yellow book.
I'll find one in the yellow book. You just take care of things on this, and I will get everything. I will get you a number that you can call and get us for a nice field trip. I'm sure they'll be happy to take us, and you're just like, especially with your guided curriculum, I'm sure they'll be happy to have us to learning some things about Ox Industries and all the cutting edge developments they're making in computers and engineering.
Okay, she seems, she seems pleased. You've laid it on. Your diplomacy is going too thick, too much.
So thick.
But you are a know-it-all, and this is actually somewhat in character for you. So yes, so she agrees to do that. You see that she actually disconnects the zip drive, and she puts it in that little gray box over there?
Yep.
In the upper right-hand corner of the office?
Yep.
If you actually could look in there, which you could.
Yes.
I mean, physically, because this is a 3D model. There's actually a zip drive in there. She carefully locks it away inside the fairly insecure little locker there.
Okay.
And she says she's going to go to the office and fill that out if you can call them and find out.
Yes. All right. So I'm going to as soon as she leaves, I'm going to step out and be like, and lady and gentlemen, that is how it's done.
You just literally glance over and you see Russell trying to get Jules to stop biting on her knuckle that she's doing the entire time, and she is likely broken skin by this point.
Russell pulls out Band-Aid and tends
That's
to it.
appropriately humiliating, but well done.
She's like, do any of you know how to pick locks?
Oh.
Not currently, but if we manage to actually pull this off, I have a promised lessons from the little harlot.
I'm going to work on my program to disable the thing. Can I get any for my description of how it would be done?
Yeah. I'll give you +2.
Wait, did I see where she put the key to the little safe?
You don't know.
Wouldn't be surprised if she kept it in the office.
Yeah,
that'd just be common sense, and she's that much of an idiot that she wouldn't take the key with her.
You think it's probably in the desk.
All right, I'm like.
Does she have pockets?
I'm like, Russell, toss the desk. Find that key. She locked the zip drive in there. I'm gonna look up the number for Ox Industries in the yellow pages.
Well, she kicked you out of the office and locked the door to the office, so you'd still need to get through the door.
Oh.
So.
Damn it.
So anyway,
I have a disc. I put it in, and it's got a bunch of project files on it. It will do two things. It will copy the project files quickly onto a directory on the target computer so that I can have something to copy back onto the disk. Will install the script so that when the computer is booted up next time, it will run as part of the command file.
Okay.
Disable the network connection and keep, doing that. In a final bit of hacking. So so that's probably as much as I can do with level 1.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you can go ahead and roll.
I did roll. I rolled a 12, so with +2, I rolled it up.
Yeah. Okay, you got your script working. you get the number. You find Ox is in the phone book.
All right. Okay, I secure that number.
Okay.
For when this not a computer whiz gets back.
Well, she does come back. She's got the forms for the paper. She says we can go tomorrow after school if they'll allow it.
Okay. Well, here's the number. Please call them.
Yeah. Okay. She takes it and she's going to call them in her office. And that is, I mean, there's not a lot else you can do from here right now. You guys are, after school has stretched on a bit, and you guys are going to be going home soon. You guys could all go over to one of your houses and hang out. You could, you could take any other action.
Not my house. I'd rather put off having to wear that fucking dress.
Do you really want to come to mine?
Oh, I
don't want to go to
Do you want me to wear a pink fluffy dress in front of you guys? Because I don't.
I think that'd be hilarious.
Shut up, Sparrow.
I don't know. I think you
I
can look
need to
cute.
be out of the house for the weekend, so I need someplace else to go.
I'm like that. Hey, that. So, did any of you guys find out anything else useful? Any employees or anything? Employee handbooks?
Well, the employee that they listed in the newspaper is an obvious, alias. Probably an anagram or something, but I can't figure out what it might.
What's the name?
Namai Round RALNAYM.
Can someone type that down and post it? Cause my God.
Can I make it? Can I just sort of make a reason roll to try to write it down?
Okay.
Make a reason roll
Go
to
ahead.
try to sort it.
Yeah.
Here it is.
You can make go for a reason roll.
17. No, I have no idea.
Maybe it's Greek.
Maybe it's Greek.
Should I give it a try? Cause I mean, I'm not the smartest one in the bunch, but he said anagram, so I got an idea what an anagram is.
I could give it a shot.
Just fucking basic English, and oh,
Nice.
You roll a 3.
A 3.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
You understand
know,
perfectly.
I know English.
it's somebody saying not my real name.
Oh God.
Not. Somebody's being smart. This is not my real name. Honestly, that's hilarious.
Sarah just rolls her
Russell
eyes like. Ugh.
tilts his head.
Hey, I gotta give credit where credit's due. That's actually kind of funny.
Not my real name, but whose name is it?
Somebody's.
Russell looks over there somewhat naive. I'm
Wait a
very
minute.
confused.
Wait a minute. I'm gonna look up a couple names.
Okay.
Because there is no way that there's anybody with these names. And if there are, they are very few and far between in this town. I want to look up Crackle, Sigmund, and Freud.
You find nothing.
These people don't exist.
And those are all obvious aliases.
Oh, wait, or actually, can I look up Mr. M? Can I look up Trusk?
You find nothing under Trusk.
So I did find a name. What was it? My search.
Yeah. Yeah. You find there was a guy who was local and was actually hired. His name was Anderson Kilter.
Anderson Kilter.
Yeah, I'm gonna look for Kilter.
I got it.
Yeah, you find it.
Haha.
I've got
A
it.
Kilter. He's on the other side of not the wrong side of the tracks. So there's a Walmart where you go and skate, but it's like a car drive away. It's not. It's, you know, you could bike it, but it's a bit of a. It's a bit of a.
A car drive, you say?
A car drive.
I've got.
But yeah, he's over there. He lives.
Also has a bad feeling about this.
So Sarah is thinking for a moment. She's thinking, and she pushes up her glasses. She's like, "I think I have an idea."
What's your idea?
So, why don't we go talk to Mr. Kilter, or what's it? Kilter?
Kilter. Anderson Kilter.
Why don't we go? Why don't we go talk to Mr. Kilter? We could pose as members of the student newspaper and say that we're doing a piece on we're doing a piece on local upcoming companies, and then we can ask him some questions about Ox, and if we can get him to do if we can ask him something obscure enough that he needs to pull out the employee handbook to answer it, we could maybe try to snatch it then when he's not looking.
Then we can jump him.
No, that's a terrible idea. He's an adult and we are children, and that will probably and that is a bad plan. So if we can just snatch it while he's not looking, just distract him or something, and then pocket it.
I mean, Sarah, with the way that you can go on, you can basically encapsulate adult attention like nothing else. He probably wouldn't mind if I snatched and wrote down a couple numbers.
So here's what we will do. If we can get him to pull out the handbook, I will fake an asthma attack.
Do that. That works.
Yeah,
I can sell that, and then we'll just get him to try to help you out. And
take the book. Yes.
Take the book.
I guess if everything else goes wrong, I can always bring the baseball back.
Write down. Just no.
No. I mean, Russell, as much as I appreciate the whole violence is an answer.
All of our best plans, all of our worst plans begin with violence. All of our best plans begin with us jettisoning our dignity. Remember that.
I imagine Jules just
have that
private human resources number.
I just imagine Jules drapes an arm around Russell's just like, I appreciate you want to use violence here, but let's leave it to the nerds. In this case.
Right. Let's get over there and see what we can do.
How do we?
By the way, the building. By the way, Ox Engineer is within bike riding distance. You guys can ride out there to the Ox plant.
I have a skateboard.
Well, still, it's not that far from you guys. You guys live on that side of town.
Okay. Yeah, maybe two of us. Maybe. Okay, maybe. Maybe.
Don't you guys have that attack?
Maybe Vasily. Maybe Vasily, Jules, and I can go talk to Kilter, and maybe Russell. Maybe could scope out the building, see if there's any obvious.
Why don't we all go together rather than split up?
Yeah, let's go all together. Maybe we can go take a look at the place on our way back home.
Yeah. Well, let's go visit the building in the first place. We can walk over there, and who knows? Maybe we'll find an employee handbook stuffed in a bin or something.
Mm-hmm.
I vote Russell does the dumpster diving. Everyone in favor? She raises her hand.
It does have the whole.
Don't be such a baby. I'll do it.
Leave it to me.
So we'll walk over there. You should do it in your pink dress.
Yes, that sounds like a great plan.
Fuck off, boss!
Hey, think of it this way, Jules.
No, it's a good plan. It would spare you from having to wear it to the.
Yeah, Jules, think of it this way. If we have to go dumpster diving, and you wear your pink dress.
The good thing about dumpster diving at engineering companies, and
you know what?
They're not throwing out a lot of food.
Are we planning to do this right now or later?
Right now. Why not?
Now.
Fine, let's stop by my house.
Look, the sooner we can get over, to. God, I'm already forgetting his name.
Kelters.
Kilter.
The sooner we can get over to Kilter's, the better, because we don't want to catch him at a bad time and seem kind of weird that we're doing student journalism at a late hour.
So let's roll a dice. Let's flip a coin. Kilter first, tails. We go to the.
Look, the building will always be there, but
I'm stepping away from the computer for a second, but I'll be back.
Okay.
Look, the window of opportunity for Kilter closes the longer we stay out and about. And the building will always be there. So why don't we just go to Kilter first when it's appropriate hours?
Yep.
And then we'll go to the building.
Alright, so we're gonna have to stop by my house to get that fucking dress.
The sooner we can get over there, the less suspicious it is.
Right, but you really think he's going to believe that someone dressed like me is going to be part of the student newspaper?
That's why you wear the frilly pink dress.
Then we stop by my house first, we go over to his place, do all that jazz, and then we go dumpster diving.
Yeah, exactly.
Does that mean I need a button-up shirt or something?
No, you're fine, I just need to get out of my comfy clothes and get into that fucking, okay.
So our plan is this: we're
can't be that
going
bad.
to go get Sarah into her dress.
Okay.
No, it's Jules. Jules is getting an address.
Sarah wears skirts on the norm.
Views.
It can't be that bad, Jules.
Then we're going to go to see Kilter. We'll just show up unannounced and see if we can interview him. And then on the way back, we will get to the
Dumpster diving.
if our plan with Kilter hasn't worked. Can we get a bus or something over to Kilter's neighborhood?
No, you need a car. There's no bus. There's no bus line.
Let me ask this: if
You can go
Jules,
on a long bike ride, but
if we hold on, because we are stopping by Jules's house, are either of her parents home?
So that's a good question. So you have driving skills. So obviously you have.
Yes, I do.
You have driven.
Mhm.
I will say that. I'll say there's an 8 or less chance that both parents are out for the evening, and there's still a car there.
Okay.
I will say that between a 9, 10, and 11, there is a. I cannot do it right now. Hold on a second, kiddo. No. I will say that there's a. Hold on a second. There we go.
Oh God, the kid.
I'll do it in a few, in like 20 minutes. So I'm gonna roll. So I roll a 14. If you want to take the car, it will be a risk. You know, you can go in there, take the keys off the key ring by the door, and go out and take off in the car, and you'll probably get into some amount of trouble. You do that.
I mean, what else is new? Well,
this is Jules, right?
yes.
You think you might be able to trade the dress and the wedding for the car, even though you're technically not supposed to drive the car. If you wear the
Actually,
dress,
I think I can make this work. I think I can make this work. Imagine. Okay, guys, give me 1 second. I'm going to have to barter with my mom. So just give me 1 moment. And she just kind of slips inside. Hey, Mom, are you home?
Up here.
I need to talk to you real quick.
You come up, and she looks at you.
Hey,
Am I getting a note from school?
No, this is something else. But I told Sarah about this, the whole wedding thing, and she wants me to become comfortable in the dress, so she wants me to come over wearing it.
Your mother does a double take.
Yeah, trust me, don't ask about these specifics, but considering that it's going to be a little bit because she wants to help me try to figure out my hair and my makeup and all that jazz, because that's her thing.
Her eyes grow wide.
Her parents are going to be able to drive me home, and I don't want to bother you and Dad, so it's just a short drive to her house and back, just that I don't have to bike home in the dark. Would you mind if I take the car just that I can drive home safe?
She opens her mouth to say hell no, because it's illegal. And
It's a
then
short
she
drive.
closes her mouth. Yeah, not especially in small towns. It's not unheard of. She closes her mouth and she says, "I want you to come straight home after Sarah's."
Absolutely.
Okay. She gets the dress. She examines the dress. She hands it to you, brings it to you, and she says, "This is salmon. You can ask anybody. Not pink."
All right.
Salmon.
Thank you, Mom.
She gives you the hug and the kiss. You feel happiness, joy leap within her as you make your way down to the car.
All right, she steps out, she glances at the others, she sees them jingle the keys.
Let's go.
All right, and we load up.
You guys are driving. You guys drive over to the Walmart. It takes a little while to get there. The houses here are not necessarily more upscale. They're not, but there's more of a kind of a nature look. You see that there's a bunch of small pine trees. The houses seem to be inset more. They have pretty well kept lawns and things. And it takes a little while of tooling around through these windy neighborhoods that are more more neighborhoods than where you guys live. It's like scattered houses, just wherever they build.
And I imagine that Jules probably had to come out in the dress, so she's driving, wearing this dress, and she's just exuding this aura of, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this.
You're down real low in case somebody... And you find the address.
Yeah, I imagine her hair's up in pigtails and such. She's like, God damn it, God damn it, God damn it! Someone kill me!
Russell's just probably sitting in the front seat on the other side, just like,
You see, you guys can all make perception rolls. Your perception roll is equal to your int.
Int. Okay.
let's see here.
Whoa, that is a 12 against a 10. Fuck.
13 against my int. My total int?
I guess so.
It's an 11, so...
Well, Fast seems to see something.
I roll an 8, making it by 3.
Oh, I see something.
Yeah. You see Mr. Harris's car, which you recognize in the driveway.
I'm slowing down. What do you see?
That's interesting.
What is it? Come on, tell me.
Point
Trying
it
to
out.
avoid being seen. Is that? What the fuck is he doing here?
Mr. Harris's car in the driveway of
Got a bad feeling, guys.
Mr. Kilter. What the fuck is he doing here? And he's going to see me in a dress. Oh, fucking God!
Should have brought the base.
Someone kill me!
I think you look lovely.
Sparrow.
I agree.
Let's just park and get this. Let's just park and get this the fuck over with.
There's another car in the driveway, as well, a sportier one.
Sporty.
Yeah.
Huh.
Kilter's got a sportier car than the school teacher. The universe remains
Well, let's go
upright.
knock.
Oh, wait a minute.
Well, let's go.
We've got a slight problem.
Mm.
Harris will know that we're not working for the newspaper.
Just signal him to shut up.
Yeah, I think he probably assumes something's up considering I'm in a fucking dress.
Yes.
Alternatively,
Maybe we could say we're doing research for our new.
we're doing research. We're doing research for the computer club, learning about new technologies and new technology companies. Done there.
about jobs in the industry and all that. Yes,
Yes.
I will not
I
be more.
think you didn't need to put on the dress.
Don't worry. I can probably sell this. I can work this.
Okay.
That car in the driveway is a 1995 Spider convertible.
Damn, that's expensive.
Nice
Ow.
car.
Guy is a criminal.
He's a criminal.
Guy's
Do you
totally
think-
evil. No, I don't know. Maybe these guys are just.
Do you think he'll let me look under the hood?
These guys are kind of on the cutting edge, though. That
It is a 220
I mean, hey,
220 horsepower
everybody
engine.
needs- engineers are in high demand now, right? So maybe he's just getting paid really well.
Do you think they would let me look under the hood?
You knock on the door, and there's nothing for a few minutes, and then a noise from inside, and then the door opens, there's a chain drawn across it, and you see Mr. Harrison there, and you smell
what?
alcohol.
Oh.
And he looks at you,
Oh.
you guys, and
How's it going?
Hi, Mr. Harris.
goes pale, and he looks back inside the house, steps out quickly, closing the door behind him.
I'm going to, if I can, when I see him, I am going to step in and give him a big hug and try to
Just force him back into the house.
and say, don't abandon us, Mr. Harris.
That makes it seem like we were stalking him.
Okay,
Yes,
you were trying to get into the house. He does not want you to come into the house.
Is he scared?
Can I slip by him?
Yeah, he closed the door behind him when he stepped out.
You might be scared.
Hey, hey, Mr. Harris. So is
Go ahead. I want you to go ahead and go ahead and make a persuasion roll.
Okay, that's me.
Don't fuck
Okay.
up.
Probably 10 or less. Almost certainly.
That's a 8.
Oh, damn.
Good
And
work.
it beats my my diplomat by 12.
Okay. Well. Okay.
By
So
4.
Vasily, you hug him, and you get you guys manage to kind of get in there, get like a foot in before he closes the door, and he kind of hugs you back.
Awkwardly.
How he feels a little awkward, and he steps back in. The house has the lights off. It's dark.
I'm looking around. Does it look like there was a struggle or something out of place, or is everything
No,
normal?
it doesn't. It does not. Well, go ahead and make a perception roll.
Yeah, I'll make that roll too. Sure.
The blinds are
That's it.
drawn. It's dark in here.
Yeah, why not?
Well,
14.
I-
Yeah, I don't see anything. I have
Ah,
glasses.
no.
I've got
I
glasses.
am blind.
I'm not good at seeing things. I've got glasses.
I roll an 8, making an intellect roll by 3.
Russell looks around like, it's dark in here.
so everyone's an intellect roll by 3. In that case, no.
Okay, give me 2 seconds.
No, my
Alright.
intellect is 10. I rolled 11. Damn
Okay.
I rolled a
so-
17 against the 10. It's beautiful.
Okay. Did anyone make a perception roll?
Made it by 3.
It's too dark in here to see much. You can see that there's a table back there, a kitchen table, round, not too big. There are knives driven into it, points downwards through it.
Can I sneak away?
Not really. I mean, he's kind
Can
of
I
in
sneak further in?
You can try to get past it when the talking starts. So I have to step away from the computer for I don't know how long, 20 minutes, 30 minutes?
Oh, kids gotta go to bed.
Yeah. So, what do you guys want to do? Do you guys want to wait? Or you gonna pick it up next week? It's 10 o'clock, so...
It seems like now might be a good time to...
I think it might be, yeah, I think it might be.
Might be a
Okay.
good time to stop. And then we'll do that next time.
Well...
So we end with Jules in a dress. It's literally the last thing. God damn it!
I think it went pretty well.
Yeah,
you guys-
good game.
Yeah, thank you.
So thank you everyone for coming, and thank you everyone for watching, who watched, and who are watching this in replay on YouTube. So we'll see y'all next time, and we'll continue the adventures of the computer club trying their best to hack things, but through every means possible.
I mean,
Alright.
my version of hacking
I'm-
is smashing it with it, so...
Yeah, but until next time, live on, play strong, and roll out. See you next time.